Hello everyone. So this video I'm going to be tackling the idea of consciousness, and a little introduction would be consciousness operates on levels within a spectrum. So there are going to be people on all different levels of consciousness. And one category within your state of consciousness is the development of your ego. I don't touch on that too much here, but the point is that all humans are on a different level, a different degree of the spectrum. So let's get into it. High quality consciousness, the feedback loop. Consciousness is your mind state of awareness. The less aware you are of the complexity of life, the lower your level of consciousness. Life is all about the mind. What you think about leads you to feel a certain way, and the feelings determine the actions that you take, and your actions get results. It's interesting when you realize you can be in control of what you choose to think about. It took me a long time to wrap my mind around that concept. Education is the direct path to building high quality consciousness for yourself. You want to design a great life, right? I'm sure you do, because that's what I want. I mean, I know we're all different, but who doesn't want a good life? Building the foundation. See, if you create a mansion on a sand foundation, it will not last. So let's get into the keys of creating a sturdy foundation. To initially upgrade your mind, you'll likely have to subtract before adding. The act of identifying anything that's not helping you grow, that's priceless. This will be a challenge because we like to stay in our comfort zones. What held me back primarily was weed in my environment. It might be different for you, but identify the two biggest things that are holding you back. The suppression of feelings makes you think you are all good as you are. And that's just a false statement. See, we can continuously improve. Humans are meant to evolve and adapt. It's a balance. You also want to accept the parts about yourself that cannot be changed. I'm not saying everything must be improved, but that which you can improve, you should improve. If you've been growing, recognize that and understand that your potential is absolutely limitless. After removing obstructions, it's time to create a bigger picture purpose for your everyday actions. Without reason, we won't persevere through the inevitable challenges, and trust me, they are inevitable. The purpose can begin shallow. That's better than no purpose. I need you to evolve your vision as you go. For a period, all I wanted was girls, cars, and money. And those things are they're acceptable, but they're shallow. They're lacking depth. So then I realized, well, what's more important is to make my mother proud, to not waste all the energy that she poured into me. Now I've kind of realized that I must carry my cross and become my best for humanity, for the world, for the universe, for every starved, tortured, and mistreated soul that has ever existed. I know, that's deep, right? But such a deep purpose can keep you going through any sort of challenge, and that's what we need. When you tie your life to a powerful purpose, you're much more likely to do well. So we need the polarities. The polarities are the difference between good and bad. That's a spectrum, just like your degree of consciousness. Creating purpose is definitely challenging, especially if your mind is in a negative victim state. See, this must be shifted first. Victimhood is an escape from responsibility, choosing to blame everything but yourself for the circumstances in your life. And don't get me wrong, I know that we are all dealt a certain hand, and some people are dealt way worse of a hand than others. And see, I don't know how exactly to speak on certain topics because my hand, it was not perfect. My dad is not around, but I had one loving parent, and I know there are individuals born with no loving parents. So I'm saying this with grace. I send you love and energy and positivity for all of you who have been dealt a worse hand than me. But that is not an excuse to give up because you still have limitless potential. See, it has to be a conscious decision to choose to create yourself into a being you're proud of by shouldering responsibility. This will make you feel meaningful. Take on as much as you can, feel it out, and find the balance that allows you to sleep good at night while working hard throughout your days. Responsibility for your body's health, state of mind, the example you set, your financial positioning, continuing your education, organizing your materials within your life, and so on. Nobody has ever became great by accident. My content is for beings who are aiming high, pushing to achieve who they're meant to be. It's not going to be easy in the short term, but think about this. Don't you feel like being healthy, wealthy, and confident is easier than being lost, corrupt, and broken in the long run? Emphasis on the long run. See, the short term it might be easier to be the latter, but not in the big picture. See, life is full of suffering. This suffering seems to be necessary for us to appreciate the pure beauty of life. Without knowing the pain that suffering is, we have no idea of what the opposite end of the spectrum feels like. It is how great souls are created, through persevering through hardship and being fully aware of the depth that pain is. This is a choice. Changing how you think shifts how you feel. I'm sure we would all say we want to feel better. Like, everyone could probably agree that we want to feel better. And people still hesitate to invest in the quality of their minds, just not seeing the connection between their thoughts and their reality. You think better, you feel better, and you act better, which then reconfirms the feelings of goodness. The whole thing, this whole reality, is an interconnected web. There's not a single decision that you make in your life that does not have a consequence. Could be positive, could be negative, but every decision matters. Every thought matters. I suffered from negative inner dialogue for so long, and I had no clue I could change that shit. I bet I'm not alone. First, we have to stop lying to ourselves and accept that we are our own worst enemy. Yes, I know. We are our own worst enemy. There's nothing outside causing you more harm than you cause yourself. Of course, there are few exceptions, but if you have technology, shelter, a house, and you're able to watch this video, you're not the exception. It's a choice that we make to hang out with low-quality acquaintances, to consume greasy, processed, cancerous food, to destroy our lungs with certain substances and things, to poison our bodies with alcohol, to bully ourselves within our own mind. This is all the act of self-sabotage, and the list goes on. Don't think that because I didn't mention it, you're not sabotaging yourself. There are millions of ways that we sabotage ourselves. All these actions will lead you to feeling horrible, and then the cycle repeats itself. It's time that we break the chain, my friends, to begin replacing these shit habits with healthy ones that bring us feelings and thoughts of goodness. The small habits you repeat each day end up making up the majority of your life. When it comes to changing habits, begin small so that the change is about effortless. Do it for one day, then one more day. Pay attention to how you feel and fuel yourself with thoughts like, this is for my future self. It starts and ends with your habits. You will speed up your growth through consuming the right content. And by saying yes to prioritizing your education, you'll be saying no to all the other distractions. Doom scrolling, mainstream news, mindless entertainment, and so forth. Of course, you can watch an episode of a show. I'm not implying that you should be a saint immediately. But my point is that the majority of your energy should be focused on learning through valuable content. Unfollow all the accounts that don't make you feel good, and begin transitioning from short form content to longer lectures where you are researching and taking notes. Always take notes. Speak into your iPhone app if you're listening and driving. This is what I love to do. And we have limited energy, and most people squander their lives because they are not intentional with where they place their focus. Attention leads to thoughts. So if you consciously choose to see the light even in a tough situation, you are better off than had you dwelled on the road bump. What happened to me for so long was I lacked the awareness, and I did not recognize where I was placing my attention. Therefore, I fell into negative loops of thinking, feeling, and acting. Eventually, I got so sick of feeling how I felt. My insides were torn, and I knew I could not continue down the path I was on. This is the proverbial rock bottom. Most people need to hit rock bottom to realize that change is needed. A giant piece to education is having awareness of how you feel and reflecting upon why you feel that way. How do you build awareness? You replace the shit habits with healthy ones. That's the start. That's the simple explanation. Our consciousness determines experience. The more conscious you become, the less pain you will experience. See, you'll be hyper aware, and this means you'll see all the tough situations going on, but you'll be perceiving these tough situations through a lens, through an angle, which comes from understanding. So rather than seeing misery everywhere, you'll find that your reality is overcome by beauty that you previously weren't recognizing. This takes time, and all amazing things take time. Our realities are made up of our direct experiences, and we will all take a different route, but end up in the same place. This is what makes life fun. It's a wild adventure. It's the best game that has ever been created. It's been so helpful for me to view life as a game, to aim to detach from it all and enjoy it. Easier said than done. I still catch myself creating unnecessary stress, but the growth is right there in catching yourself. See, you cannot improve something you don't notice could be improved. So if you're interested in how I've got where I am, I just finished my first course and I'm very proud, excited with how it came out. So just drop in the comments something referring to the course. It's been helpful for me to constantly remind myself that it's not about the destination, but who I'm becoming in the process. See, you can change yourself completely in 6 months. Think big picture. Are you building a life you can look back and say, I did that well? If not, this is your sign to begin making changes. There's nothing more important than the present moment. Once we realize our best route is not to stress and worry about the future, your levels of joy will increase substantially. Easier said than done. I still fall prone to everything that I speak about, and I by no means want you to think I don't make these mistakes. The writing serves me as much as it serves you. The key to not stressing is participating in actions that bring you back to a high frequency. So try this for a week and see how you feel. Life is a full circle game that has many feedback loops. The thoughts you have link to the feelings you carry, and the feelings correlate to what actions you take. Understand? And now we go full circle because the actions you take lead to a certain frequency of thought. So the cycle repeats. It's a feedback loop. And how do we become more aware of our thoughts? Here's some practical steps. 1, cutting out the noise. Noise equals 2, non-educational screen time, wasting time with acquaintances, partying, and the list goes on. Number 2, creating a hierarchy of priorities. Hierarchy equals clear ordering of most important to least important. Here's an example. I personally value healthy nutrition over the pleasure that comes from eating junk food. 3, building mindfulness. This is done through a multitude of activities. Some of my favorite are breathwork meditation, transcendental meditation, focusing on the breath during workouts, and identifying negative inner dialogue and replacing it. So you notice the theme. Meditative action is gold. It's a must-do for me every day. Transcendental meditation is thinking of a word within your mind while meditating. I think of Ru on my inhale and me on my exhale. It helps keep my mind quiet when you're focusing on both your breath and that word, rather than letting your thoughts pop up inside of your mind. And let this be said, it's completely okay for thoughts to pop up. The goal of meditation is not to meditate perfectly. The goal is to notice when your thoughts pop up and to bring your attention back to the ru mi in the syllable ru mi in the sound of your breath. So, conclusion. All of life is made up of the mind. What I mean is the quality of our mind determines our reality. One person could look at a criminal and think that's a lost soul, and he's never been given love, while another could see that's an evil human who brought this all upon himself. See, both of these statements have fragments of truth within them. And life is not simple, and the mind is infinitely complex. Once you accept the fact that we are all at different stages in the mental development, things will begin to make a lot more sense for you. So ponder on this and journal if you want to improve your mind. What kind of person do I desire to be in the future? And if you're not sure, definitely brainstorm on that. But you could start with who you don't want to become in the future. And what could I start and stop doing today to improve my overall health? I know there's things. Don't fool yourself. I know there's things. And do I have a strong reason for wanting to fulfill my potential in life? Without a strong reason, you will not get where you're supposed to get. So if this has been valuable, if you enjoyed, just, drop a like, helps more people see it. And that's the whole purpose of the videos, is to spread a good message. And write a comment or let me know your thoughts. I don't like the word comment, but let me know your thoughts. I'd appreciate that so much. Wishing you a great day, and until next time.